Good afternoon, everyone. What is the last topic? Okay. Online students, is it the screen is visible? Online students can respond in the chat window. Online students can respond in the chat window. Okay. Let's complete on this now. So we have been taking care about in implementing with STLC. Meaning of STLC? Meaning of STLC? Okay. As part of STLC, what is the first step? First step. Requirements understanding. So the very first step mentioning about requirements understanding. After that, what is the next step? What is it? Test plan. Okay. After that, test scenarios. Okay. After that, what is it? Test cases. Just 1 minute, guys. Right. Test scenarios and need to be mentioning that test cases. Okay. After that, test execution. Okay. After that, bug reporting, retesting. Okay. What is the last activity? Test closure. Right. As part of STLC, if you want to implement this manual testing for any project, you need to taking care about following with these particular steps here. It can be Java project, .NET project, banking project, any kind of the projects you want to be handled. You need to taking care about in implementing with these particular steps here. So before going to that, we have been taking care about in performing with the step that we got mentioned about folder creation. Created the folders? Created, huh? Everyone? Some faces are showing not created. By seeing the faces, I can recognize. Online students, is that the folder creation done? Online students. Okay. So still I can understand only 50% of the, not 50, I think less than 50 has been created. I'll get the details. That is a different technique. I'm having my techniques will be there. That is a different. At least by Monday, I need to be complete with creation of the folder structure. Just you need to be create empty folders only. Look into that particular folders, what you have been written. Whatever the folders are there, according to that, you need to be continued in creating with that particular folder structure. So as part of tester, the very first activity you need to be taking care about in creating with this particular, in creating with this particular folder structure here. So once that particular folders has been created, once that particular folders has been created, need to be get started in having with doing with the required things. As part of the project, I have been already created these particular folders here. In this particular system, I just consider one main folder that I will be taking with this particular project name that I will be considering the adapting. This will be the main thing need to be get mentioning about having the very first step here. And after that, I will be taking with documents folder and then templates and then taking with test cases, test execution, test scenarios. Not like order folders can be created in any order. The way of working we need to be taken to order here. Okay. So now as we done with this particular folder creation, we need to be get started taking care about the very first activity. What is the first one we got? What is the first step? Requirements understanding. As simple as you have been considering as a tester, or as a tester, we have to take care about in understanding with requirements. How exactly we can understand the requirements, what exactly mean by that, how we need to be work with different projects. Let's understand in a very detailed here. Okay. The very first understanding, in case of tester, what is the main job role of the tester? What is the main job role of the tester? Need to be get taking care about doing with the testing. On which basis the testing need to be done? On which basis the testing need to be done? Based on client requirements. Based on the client requirements, we need to be get taking care about doing that particular respective testing. Okay. Now, client has to be provide the requirements. How exactly client will be providing the requirements? How exactly client will provide the requirements? Is that he will be sending all the requirements in your WhatsApp numbers? How it will be done? Documentation. All the project related requirements, it will be getting documented. That particular documents, requirement documents only. That particular document names is requirement documents only. For each and every particular document, it will be having some specific name will be there. So which it will be having, the specific name will be there. In the very first document name, considering the BRS. Meaning of the BRS? What is that? Business requirement specifications. What exactly use of the document? Yesterday written. What is the use of that? To understand business overview. I mean, what exactly that business has been related to. What exactly that business has been related to, we can understand on that. We have different type of documents are there. In that, the one document we got BRS. As a tester, by referring this particular document, at least we can understand that what is that particular project or what is that particular business has been related to. As part of that business, what kind of the flow need to be done. That information we can easily understand. Because once we got more comfortable, or in case of we are already knowing related to that particular business, it will make you more effective for doing with the testing. That is how sometimes you can look into the job openings specifically for the tester. They will be asking the domain knowledge. If we look into some of the testing job openings, there will be added some extra point having banking domain knowledge or insurance domain knowledge, manufacturing domain knowledge. Meaning of that statement, the persons who has been having more domain knowledge, for them it will become in a more easy to test that particular project. Because even though those guys are not technical, as they got in a domain knowledge, they can easily understand as part of banking what are the steps need to be done, what are the terminologies need to be used. Those guys will be more confident and those guys will be having more knowledge. For them, it will become in a more easy to test that particular project. That is how nowadays you can see that getting in a job as a developer little bit difficult. When you compare with tester, maximum of nowadays, most of the people from IT to non-IT as a tester, they are easily converting because of the person who has been already working in the banking sector. For example, assume that one of the person is doing with the non-IT job, working in the loans related department. Then he will be knowing it, what kind of loans will be there. For the loans, what will be the eligibility criteria, how that loans need to be approved. All the process he will aware of that. For him, testing the project related to that loan application, it will become in a more easy because already he got an experience related to that. It will become in a more easy to test that project. Very easily, he can identify the bugs in the application. Because of that, as part of tester, whenever there is a possibility, you have to see that to gain with the more knowledge related to that particular business also, that it will give you added advantage to get work as a tester here. So that is how always it is adjustable for the tester. Not like initially, in the initial stages, fresher level, you cannot get the domain knowledge. Once you got in a job, once you are working on the project, whatever the project you are working related to that particular project, you have to take care about to gain with it the maximum knowledge. Then it will make you more comfortable. In further, it will give you added advantage here. Conclusion is, as a tester, if you are having business knowledge, it will make you more effective to test that particular application. Because of that, you will be having a very first document mentioned in the BRS, Business Requirement Specification. Client can provide you this document. Apart from this, you will be getting one more document. Apart from this, you will be having one more document. What is the document? What is the document? SRS. Meaning of SRS? No. Software Requirement Specification. In the name itself, you can clearly understand. First one, it is clearly mentioning the business. Second document, it is clearly mentioning the software. Software Requirement Specifications. What is the use of the document? What is the use of the document? To understand To understand what need to be tested in that particular application based on requirement document, or by referring that particular requirement document, what kind of functionalities we need to be tested. Because as simple as from the day one, we are clearly mentioning that we are not doing with the testing by our own, and you are not doing with the testing based on your BTech knowledge. The testing need to be done based on client requirements here. For doing that particular testing, first you need to be very clear about in understanding the requirement. If you are not able to understand the requirement, we cannot go with. Okay. If you are not able to understand the requirement, we cannot continue our testing here. At any cost, as a tester, we need to be get comfortable in understanding with requirement. In the first document, BRS, second document, SRS. While working in the real time, the most preference will be provided to SRS document here. Because that SRS document, it is clearly mentioned that SRS document has been clearly mentioning that what kind of functionalities need to be tested. By referring that particular document, we can easily get understood what are all the functionalities need to be tested in that particular application. So that is what I will be taking with BRS document and then considering the SRS document. In a similar way, we got one more document. What is another document? What is it? FRS. The one you will mention, BRS document, SRS document, FRS document. Meaning of FRS? Functional Requirement Specification. What is the use of the document? To understand. What is it? Particular functionality. See the difference. SRS document, what need to be tested? FRS document, what is that particular functionality need to be tested? As part of FRS document, we can clearly understand what exactly the particular functionality need to be tested. By referring SRS document, as simple as we are able to understand what need to be tested. In case of taking with FRS document, we need to be get considering that what exactly that particular functionality to be tested here. So one is BRS document, SRS document, FRS document. Not like only these three, but these three will be the regular things. Most of the time, you may heard about these three particular documents, but apart from these three, we are having a lot of other documents are there, but you can consider that these are the three main documents here. So what client is doing is, this particular client need to be get documented all these things. Who will prepare these documents? This BRS, SRS, FRS. Who will prepare these documents? Who will prepare? Uh, all these documents are not prepared by the tester. Tester will never prepare the requirement document. We are taking care about testing. We are not worried about in preparing with requirement document. All these requirements taken care by BA or taken care by the Scrum Master. Either BA or Scrum Masters will be taking care about in preparing with all these documents here. Once all the documents has been prepared, these particular documents will be handed over to testing team or development team. As a testing team, you need to be get refer. As a testing team, you need to be get refer these particular documents here. Once it got refer, these particular documents need to be get continued in doing with the testing. When you guys are working in the real time, when you're working in the real time, in some project, you will get all the 3 documents. In some project, you will be getting 3 documents here. In some more project, combinations like BRS document and SRS document, or SRS document and FRS document. Any combination, either 3 documents will be provided or any 1 document is provided or combinations. Sometime there is a chance any of these documents also not available. Chances are there when you're working in the real time, you will not be having these documents also. In case of any of these documents are not available, then how we can do the testing? If these documents are not available, what is another option we can try? What is another option? What you written yesterday? What is it? Yesterday written the description? Okay then. So considering that mockups, meaning of the mockups? What is it? Screenshots here. In case of requirement documents are not available, in case of requirement documents are not available, for the client, we need to ask them to provide in a mockups, considering with the screenshots here. Based on that particular screenshot, we can understand that what are all the functionalities need to be tested. That is what the description you written. What is the description you written? To understand what need to be tested based on GUI. Meaning of GUI? Graphical user interface. So as part of referring with the screenshots, at least we can see that what are all that pages are there. Based on that particular pages, we can easily get understand that what are all the functionalities need to be tested. Conclusion is, without knowing the requirement, we cannot go for testing. Because of that, first we will try for requirement documents. Any requirement documents. Requirement documents are not available, then you will be taking with mockups here. So once you are taking with the mockups, you will be referring that screenshots here. Once you got, refer that particular screenshot. Once you got, refer that particular screenshot, you can understand that what are the functionalities need to be tested related to that particular page here. Now, when you're working in real time, you will get requirement document, you will get mockups. Both the things will be there in some project. In some more project, only requirement document. Some other project, only mockups here. Chances are there in some other project, You may not get requirement document and you may not get mock-ups also. Requirement documents are not available. Mock-ups, requirement documents are not available. Mock-ups also not available. If both the things are not available, how will do the testing? What is it? What is it? Sample application. In case of requirement documents are not available, mock-ups are not available, we need to be taking care about sample application. Meaning of sample application? What is it? Similar kind of application. Meaning of that? Perfect. Same application. Meaning of same application? Similar kind of application. Very perfect here. Similar kind of functionality. Okay. As simple as if we consider the sample application, we can say that similar kind of functionality. The meaning of similar kind of functionality, not like same. I mean, not like 100% of the functionalities are same. Some of the functionalities related to that we can test it. The best example you can take with banking application. Best example of SDFC, ICICI. What are these two? What are these two? These two are considered banks. Banks or not? The two guys are maintaining bank balance also. Maintaining? No, not maintaining bank balance. Heavy balance is there. Okay. That's fine then. Even now you are in Amirpet. In future, where you will go? America. No. First you have to go for high-tech city. After that you will go for America here. First we need to go for high-tech city. After that you will be thinking that what is the next city need to be done here. At any cost, first you have to visit high-tech city. After that you will be thinking about other things here. Once you go for high-tech city, you can maintain with a lot of bank balance. That too nowadays all the IT salaries also got increased here. Okay. Yeah. So this SDFC, ICICI, these two are considering as a banks. Now assume that you have to test with SDFC bank application. Related to that application, client is not provided any requirement. Client is not provided any of these particular mock-ups or taking the sample application. Any of these things are not available here. Because of that, it was simply suggesting to the testing team, saying that, so testing team, you guys can refer ICICI Bank application, see that what are the functionalities are there. According to the functionality of that application, you can continue in testing this particular SDFC Bank application. As simple as, if you want to understand in a very simple way, the very easy understanding, the best example, you will be going for medical shop. Going it? Knowing medical shop? Okay, very perfect here. In the medical shop, when you're giving with the list, so one of the tablet he will mention. What he will mention? The same tablet is not available, but alternative. I mean, he will say that what exactly the tablet has to do, functionality will be the same, but not like company is the same here. Having with the similar kind of the tablet has been available. So in the same way, while doing testing also, if client is not provided any of the requirement, we need to see that having with sample application related to that particular business. We'll refer that application according to that particular application. You need to get continued. According to that particular application, you need to be get continued in doing with that particular testing. Conclusion is, concept is, as a tester at any cost, you have to understand requirements. Without knowing the requirements, without understanding the requirement, you never continue with testing. In case, if you continue also, there is no use of on that. So that is what you have to get understand. Still, if you want to take in a very simple way, best example, assume that in a market you got in a new four-wheeler. Assume that new BMW released in the market. You doesn't know the driving. Without knowing the driving, is that you will try for test drive? Trying or not? Because of new vehicle or because of BMW, without knowing the driving, is that you will try for test drive? If you try, what will happen? The same thing testing also will happen here. Without knowing the requirement, if you do the testing, what will happen? Accident will happen here. Because of that, at any cost, as a tester, to get start with the testing, what is the first step? What is the first step? No. What is the first step? Requirements, understanding, not gathering. The very first step need to be mentioned, requirements, understanding. Okay. Up to this perfectly fine. When you guys are attending with the interviews, interviewer will ask a question. That to any of the interviewer, what they will have? Ego feeling will be there here. Now, you guys are attending the interview. Interviewer is asking the very simple questions here. He will be asking a question saying that why testing required. What he will answer? Why testing required? First point. What is the first point, guys? To provide quality of the product. Okay. Second point. Open your notebooks, guys, at least. Open your notebooks, doesn't make any problem. Interviewer also will be asking a question, why testing required? For interview also you can say that interviewer, give me 1 minute. Open the notebook and give the answer here. What is the second point? To perform development activities and testing activities at the same time here. Meaning of same time? Considering that parallelly. Meaning of the same time is parallelly. From the day one, development need to be started. At the same time, testing need to be started. What is the third point to written? To identify the issues in starting stages. Meaning of starting stages? As early as possible. 3 points are there. As it is, you will by heart it and they will give the same answer in the interview. Perfectly okay. Don't do by heart. This question is done, answer is done. Now one more question interviewer will be asking. What is the first question he got? Why testing required? Okay. Second question he was asking, saying that on which basis he will be doing with the testing. What is the question? On which basis he will be doing with the testing. On which basis he will do? What is it? Client requirements. Okay, done. Question is done. Answer is done. Interviewer also happy for that answer. Interviewer has been asking one more question. You then given the answer. He was coming up with one more question saying that he was mentioning that as part of my project, requirement documents are not available. Then how you will be doing with the testing? Based on mockups. Okay. Interviewer satisfied that answer also. Now he came up with one more question. Requirement documents not available. Mockups also not available. Then how you will be doing the testing? What is it? Sample application. Now he was asking one more question. As part of my project, there is no requirement document, there is no mockups, there is no sample application. Then how will test it? Not possible. Accident will happen. Huh? By your knowledge. Which knowledge? How come you will get domain knowledge? If you are working, then you will get the domain knowledge. If you are not working, how will you get the domain knowledge? That requirements are not available. He was clearly asking that requirements are not available, mockups are not available, sample application also not available. Then how you will be doing with the testing? Because your development interview little bit different, your testing interviews are little bit different. Your development interview, logic required. They will be asking about logic, but testing logic doesn't require, magic required here. For testing, we doesn't require in a logic. They will test you that your way of thinking, little bit brain has been required. Brain available or not? Yes or no, guys? Then your faces are going in a different way. What is mean by brain? For testing, we doesn't require coding knowledge or programming knowledge. Little bit the way of thinking is more important as a tester. Because of that, they will be asking the question in such kind of way. So as simple, they'll ask a question, any of the requirement documents are not available, then how you will be doing with the testing? Any option? So in general, you will not be having an option, but directly we cannot say that we cannot test the application. In case of that kind of situation, what we'll be doing is you have to give an answer to them saying that taking with the inputs from BA or will take the inputs from Scrum Master. The interviewer intention is rather than he was asking the question directly, do you know BA or do you know Scrum Master? He will come up with this kind of indirect questions here. So he will be asking that any of the options are not available, then how you will be continue with the testing. So how we can continue the testing? What is it? Taking the inputs from BA or Scrum Master. Because those guys are already expertise. Those guys will be having business knowledge, will take with the help of them and will continue doing that particular testing here. That is what really will do in the real time also. Any of the requirement documents are not available. We have to take with the help of them and then we need to get start doing testing of that. So that is what we got requirement document and then taking with mockup and then taking with sample application. Okay. In real time, how these documents will be provided? If we consider requirement documents, who is preparing the requirement documents? Who is preparing the requirement documents? BA or Scrum Master. The team will be there. Those guys will take care about in doing all these particular requirements related activity. So now here, once that requirement documents are available, once that particular requirement documents are available, development team will continue development activity. Testing team will continue the testing activity here. Okay. Now, in real time, how these documents will be provided? Prepared by BA, okay. Or prepared by Scrum Master, perfectly okay. But as a tester or developer, we have to access the document. So how we can access the documents? What are the possibilities? BA prepared, client has been explained, BA has been prepared. As a testing team, we have to access the document. So how we can access the document? What are the possibilities? From mail. Okay. Still. You will have a document in Word document, PDF file, that is okay. My question is, as a testing team, how you can access the documents? Is that BA team or client team doing in a courier to your hostels? Is that they will send in a WhatsApp group? You guys are maintaining a lot of WhatsApp groups here. WhatsApp group 1, 2, 3, lot of things will be there. Is that they will be sending in the WhatsApp groups? No. Then? Apart from mail? You guys will be writing the code, right? Where you will maintain your code? GitHub. Still? What is that GitHub? What is that GitHub? What is it? Repository. So the terminology is repository. When you are working in the real time, whenever you guys are working with the real time, how you guys has been taking with the help of GitHub to upload your code or whatever it can be. In a similar way, there are a number of tools will be there in the real time to these things in the repository. That is the reason the very first step we done is created with the folder structure. In the real time, all these folders available in your local system. Along with the local system, the same folders will be available in the repository also. Meaning of repository? Can we consider as a common storage? Storage or not? That is one storage which we can consider that common storage here. So the meaning of that common storage which is related to that particular project team members. That repository only that project members can access. Other project members cannot access here. So that we will be having with repository. So the meaning of repository we can consider in the common storage. The meaning of repository we can consider in the common storage here. Okay. So now in that real time, all that particular folder structure will be available. What this BA team will be doing, once they completed in preparing all the required documents, all the documents will be uploaded into that particular repository having that particular respective folder. These folder names will vary from one project to another project. As part of our project requirement, what is the folder we provided? What is the folder we provided? Documents. So under the documents folder, we are able to maintain all the requirement documents related to our project, whatever the requirement documents are there, all the requirement documents will be available in this particular folder. So what I have been required is you guys need to get complete maintaining all these folders in the local system. For now, you are maintaining only empty folders. You are maintaining only empty folders. Step by step, you will be creating with or providing required details here. So for now, we got the folder name. What is the folder name? Documents. Under this, you need to be taking care about providing with requirement document here related to our project. What is our project name? What is our project name? Adactin. Related to Adactin, we got an SRS document. Related to our project also, we got an SRS document. Now what I have been required is first complete creation of folder structure. Once you created with the folder, under the documents folder, what you will maintain? What you will maintain? SRS. You guys has been required to access this file. You need to get access this document. To get access this document, you can download from Google Classroom. I'll be uploading this particular document. I will be uploading this particular document in this particular Google Classroom. I'll be uploading this particular one in this Google Classroom. You need to get download from here. Just see that. Got added to Google Classroom? Everyone? Okay. So now I can see that I'm just adding to Google Classroom here. I'm just uploading in the Google Classroom. So previously you got that particular manual testing notes is available. So I'm just uploading SRS document. Just see the document. Okay. So having with the SRS document, providing this particular SRS document here. Okay. So I'm just providing considering that SRS for Adactin. Now, see the assignments for the tomorrow session. Tomorrow session means Monday. Tomorrow is what you will do? Practice. Sunday will practice. Okay. Sunday you never practice. If you practice also you can't learn it. Don't practice on Sunday. Okay. See that. Now what I record is the assignments. What are the things you have to complete by Monday? First assignment. What is the first assignment? Creation of folder structure. Second assignment is download SRS document. Okay. So download this SRS document from the Google Classroom. Once it has been downloaded, it will be downloading to your downloads folder. Once it has been downloaded to your downloads folder, copy that file into which folder? Documents. It will be provided. Once you provided into documents folder, what you guys need to be do is taken a printout of this document. What do you have to do? Print out. Don't say that printer is not working or what are all the BTech reasons here. You have to take the printout, including online students. Online students also, I required a printout of this document. This particular PDF file, taken a printout of this. After that, what you will do? That printout you have to carry to the session till the time of your manual testing getting completed. Till the time of your manual testing sessions has been completed, you have to carry that particular document here. Okay. First one, folder creation. Second one, need to take the printout and need to carry that printout to the classrooms here. Two things. Third one, what I required is As you have in a printout, read the document. Read all information, what it is available in this particular document. You guys can go through all these printout. And after that, I required you guys can make a note of some points. What are the points you have to make a note of is, you will refer document. Once you refer the document, you will able to understand some points. At least some points you can understand, considering that what are the functionalities need to be tested, you can understand. Document that. In your notebook, just as a point wise, you can mention that what are the things you got understand. First thing. Again, you can document what are the things you have not understand. Two things I required. Refer this SRS document. Go through the document. Once you go through the document, you can understand that what are the functionalities to be tested. Application lo a functionalities test cheyali. In that application, what are all the functionalities need to be tested. Document that. At the same time, you will have some questions. You will have some points which you are not able to understand. Document those things also. Don't be confused at all. Three things need to be done. First thing, first assignment, folder creation. First assignment is folder creation. Second assignment, taking the printout and carrying that printout. Second assignment. Third assignment, need to be document the details of what you understand, what you have not understand. As simple as what you understand, document. What you have not understand, also document it. So these three things need to be completed by Monday. So by Monday, I required these three things need to be completed. If you are not completing, study hours will be there. Remember on that. So I'll come up with the different plans here. If you are not completing, we'll come up with the different plans. That is again different here. So because of that, see that in completing all the things on day to date. Okay. Now, let's take care about in case of referring the document, how we can understand this document. Just I'll give what my team members are doing, or in case of real time, how the real time projects will be done for your easy understanding purpose. Look into one of my project here. What is the project name it got provided? ASN. That is one my project. That is what my project folder we created. Under that, we got again multiple folders. In that, see the last folder. What is the last folder? What is the last folder? Specs. As part of my company project, folder name is specs. According to your project, you guys provided the folder name is documents here. That is how the folder names will make the difference from one project to another project. It cannot have with the same names here. Definitely, project name will make the difference here. Open that. What you got? What you are having? Multiple files. SRS document available. Everything is a SRS document here. We done with very long-term project. Almost 2 years we done that project. Because of that, you are having these many documents. In real time, this is how you guys will be getting with this documents here. Not like in one single shot. In one day, all the requirements will not be provided. In one particular day, all the requirements will not be provided. Based on that project requirement, client will provide the requirement. You guys will understand it. You will test it. By the time of you tested that functionality, client will be coming up with another requirement here. Now for easy understanding, see this document name. What is the document name it got? Active supply net. Which document it is? SRS. SRS related to? SRS related to messages. So if we just look into this document, this is how your real-time environment. When you guys are working in the real time, this is how you will be getting with requirement documents will be provided. Once you got any requirement documents, you guys need to be taking care about referring that document. Now we can see how easy you can understand. So as a tester, what we have to do? You got this considering the message ID, display type, saying that what is the message it has to be displayed. When this message has been displayed, in that message, what are the buttons we have to get? OK button, cancel button. If you click on OK, what it has to perform? Save. If you click on cancel, what it has to be performed? Return. Are we able to understand what need to be tested here? Able to understand or not? This is how you guys need to refer the requirement document. Referring the requirement document means what are all the information it is provided. Then you will decide that, okay, as a tester, once developer provided that I have to test these functionalities are correctly working or not. According to this, once you got this application, in the application, you will test that this message displayed or not. In that message, you will test that this buttons has been displayed or not. And you will click on OK button and you will test that save functionality working or not. You will click on cancel and you will test that return functionality working or not. And this message, where it has to display? Where it has to display? Middle of the page here. It is clearly mentioning that that message has to be displayed in the middle of the page. If it is displaying in middle of the page, it will confirm the developer done in the correct way. If it is not displaying in middle of the page, it will be reporting as a bug. That is what you are testing. It's not like any hard work or it's not like any logic or any magic is not there here. Just little bit your brain has been required. That brain is already available. Available or not? So just you have to utilize that brain and you have to do the testing. Because it is clearly mentioned, as simple as you can see this message. This message has to be displayed. It is mentioned NA. Meaning of NA? Meaning of NA? Not applicable. So for this particular message, there is no concept of the buttons. Buttons not required to display. But this message, what it has to be displayed? Where it has to display? Top of the page. First message, where it has to display? Middle of the page. So as a tester, you will test that is that displaying correctly or not. Displaying in middle of the page or not. Displaying in top of the page or not. Whatever the information provided, based on that information, you have to continue doing with the testing here. So everything will be provided. You can see this message. What is this message? Invalid user ID. Once the message has been displayed, where cursor has to be available? Where that cursor has to be available? User ID field. The cursor has been available there or not. That message has been displaying or not. We have to test it. And this message, where it has to display? Where it has to display? Below the login button. It has to be displayed with below the login button here. Okay, done. So in a similar way, what it got mentioned? Invalid password. So and then here, now where cursor has to be available? Password field. This is cursor has to be available on user ID field. And here, password field. So you have to read the document in a very perfect way and need to be get continued. doing with the testing. We'll have all the requirements will be there. Password, capital letter, small letter, minimum characters, maximum characters, where it has to display. All the information will be provided. Still, if you want to understand in a very detailed way, you can refer with one more document here. So let's take one more document. What is this document name? What is the document name? Common pages. Okay. Now we can see that. Okay. I work with different companies. Okay. Yeah. I can see this document here. Very simply you can understand. If you look into the document, what is the heading you got? What is the heading you got? User interface. It is clearly mentioning that user interface. This is how the pages has to be displayed. That form has to be displayed. See that form details also clearly mentioned. This is the form name. In that form name, it has to display this element. This element has to be displayed as how it has to display? How it has to display, guys? Text box. It has to be displayed as a text box. Once you guys got the application from the developer, as a tester, you will see that it has been displayed as text box or not. If it is displayed as text box functionality correct, not displaying as a text box, it will report a bug. Not only text box, what it has to be considered? What it has to be considered? Mandatory fields here. It has to be get considering the mandatory field also. Each and every line you have to test. Not only mandatory field. What should be the default value? What should be the default value? Null. Meaning of the null? Meaning of the null? Empty here, right? So meaning of the null is it should be total empty. It should not be displaying any of the data by default. So these things you have to test it. Displayed as text box or not, displaying as mandatory field or not, working as a mandatory or not, default value provided or not. In a similar way. What is the next one? Supplier name. This is also text box. Consider as mandatory field. And then minimum characters, maximum characters, everything will be provided. Next you can see that. What is the button you record? Save. Another one? Cancel. So once you got application, you will go to that page. In that page, you will see that all these things are there or not. And then here, if you click on save, what it has to do? Save button, what it has to be performed? Save the changes. In case of cancel, it has to close. That close is working or not, save is working or not, that functionality working or not. That is what you have to test it. That is what the very easy job role of the tester. Doesn't require any difficulties here. Very easily you can do the testing job here. So this is how all the information, not only this project, any project, same thing. For example, in this project, my client has been provided. What is the folder name? Mockups. The folder name is mockups. My client has been provided requirement document at the same time having with the mockups also. Meaning of mockups? Meaning of mockups. Can we understand what need to be tested by seeing this? At least we can understand what are the text boxes, what are the menus, what are the links, what are the mandatory fields. We can understand that what are the things need to be tested. So this is how mockups will be provided when you're working in the real time. Any project you guys can work. You guys can work with any project. For example, if we look into another project, let's see this particular project. One of the interesting project. So we done with very long back here. So if we look into this particular project, see this project, related insurance project we done. This project, this is SRS document. In the SRS document only, we got a mockup. Previous project, requirement documents different folder, mockups as a different folder. This project, in the requirement document itself, we got in a mock-up. So those things will vary from one project to another project. This is the login page. Once we done the login, what it has to display? This default page. Is this which language? Chinese or Japanese? This particular one, we work with Japanese language here. We done that kind of project also. Chances are there, you may work with these kind of projects also. Especially these kind of projects more interesting here. Because we doesn't know Japanese here. They doesn't know English here. Very interesting will be having the project. But without knowing the Japanese, how will test it? How will test it? Very simple, sir. Amirpet is there, sir. Will join Japanese training, sir. 30 days, sir. Nowadays, not 30 days. It become 10 hours and then 20 hours. Posters, we are seeing it. Lot of things. It's not like you will be doing the training. In the real time, translators will be available. This is how your document will convert from Japanese or whatever it can be. It will convert into the language of English. From there, you will understand and then you will be tested here. This is how your real-time projects will be done. You guys can work with any kind of projects. Lot of projects we done it. This is one more SAP project we done it. This document is more clear, including the numbering they provided. So this is how your requirement documents will be provided. Any project in the real time you are working, any project in the real time you are working, this is how you will be getting with the mock-ups or you will be getting requirement document. By referring the requirement document, you need to start doing with the testing. So because of that, according to the real-time standards for your project, what is the project you are working? What is the project you are working? So you guys are working with adapting project. Related to the adapting project, I given the SRS document. So for the Monday session, refer this SRS document, come up with all the things, what you understand. After that, what you have not understand. Two things I required. What are the things you got understand? What are the things you have not understand? Come up with these two things here. By having that requirement document, we'll start with the next option. What is the next one? Test plan. We have to start test scenarios, but before that, test plan option is there that we'll be discussing. So step by step, we'll be completing all the things here. So everything will be doing in a smooth way, but see that how you can take the practice here. Okay? Clear? Carry on. Enjoy the Sunday. Meet you on Monday. Thank you.